Hi, Capstoners. So rather than trying to teach every one of you guys how to solder, I thought I'd make a little piece of video for you to show you how I want you to assemble your GPS shield. First thing you're going to do is you're going to take out the little stick of header pins. Okay, your header pins look like this, only it's going to be a much longer stick out of the package. So take those header pins, break them off, and put them into the dead Arduino that I keep on the table here. Okay, so you're just going to fill up right along here. Okay, the long side goes into the Arduino, the short side should be sticking up. Now comes the important part. Okay, use solder flux. There's a little jar with solder paste or solder flux, whatever you care to call it. Okay, take your board and just smear a little bit of this on the holes where you're going to solder. Now, solder flux has three functions. It cleans the surface with a mild acid, it improves the heat transfer, and it lowers the surface tension of the solder. What you're going to do is you want to heat the base metal. Okay, you do not want to heat the lead. When you heat the base metal and get it above the melting point of the lead, then that promotes good metal flow, and the solder will go right down into the holes where you want it. Okay, so when you go to line this thing up, you'll see two little holes right here, and there are two holes on the back. Line those up. And this can be very easy or very hard depending on how much coffee you've drunk for the day. Okay, so there we go. Now I have my shield in place. Next thing you're going to want to do, take your soldering iron. There are two soldering stations here in Crosby. Warm them up. I put them on setting 3.5. You're going to clean and tin the tip. Okay, the way you do that, take this scratchy pad once it's warmed up, and then just clean off the tip until you get something that's, you know, kind of reasonably bright and clean looking. Now we're going to apply a little bit of solder to the end of the tip, and that's called tinning. Okay, let me grab another package of solder because we are currently out. 1 second. Okay, back again. So let's finish this installation. Sorry for moving you around. Okay, so I was talking about tinning the tip. So I've got the tip of my soldering iron nice and clean, and now I'm just going to apply a little bit of solder to the tip. Okay, so did you see that? Went on the tip and then just kind of flowed outward. That's what we're looking for. So even though I just wiped it, there should be some that's retained. So now I've got my tip of my iron tinned, and I'm going to apply just a little bit more flux to each of the pins that I'm about to solder. So I'm going to put the soldering iron back in the carrier, take my flux, and I'm just going to dab a little bit on each pin to make sure I didn't wipe it off when I pushed everything together and in position. So now, as I told you before, we're going to heat the base metal. So I'm going to put the tip of the iron against the first pin, And that's it. That's my first solder joint complete. Now for me, I find it more comfortable to solder pulling toward me like this, just kind of going down the row. So we'll do the next one. Hopefully you guys can see something of this. I'm warming the base metal, and then I apply the solder. Warm the base metal, apply the solder. And that's it. That was the first bank of pins, and she's all done. So I'll actually go through. These are going very quickly. That one. For some of you, it may help to use the magnifying glass. We have a lighted magnifying glass above my head, which I could be using. I'll just finish this up. There, so that's that entire side ready to go. You can hear a little bit of crackling. Okay. That's just the solder flux. And it really does help with the heat transfer. Okay, one thing I forgot to mention, I'm using the flat side of the iron up against the pin to try and get as much surface contact as I can to transfer the heat into the pin before I apply the solder. Okay, and that's it. This shield is ready to go. So now if I want to, I can take and pull the shield from my dead Arduino gently, and that's it, guys. So my pins are very, very secure, and I'm ready to go install this on a live Arduino and go do some data logging. So thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.